This episode is brought to you by Shopify. That's the sound of switching your business to Shopify, the global commerce platform that supercharges your selling. Harness the best converting checkout and same intuitive features, trusted apps, and powerful analytics used by the world's leading brands. Stop leaving sales on the table. Discover why millions trust Shopify to build, grow, and run their business. Sign up today for your $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/tech23.
Alright, what's up guys? Welcome to another episode of the T-Moz Boss Show. And in today's episode, probably going to stir up some old drama. At this point, I really don't care because it's something that I felt like I should have talked about on today's episode. So, anyways, in today's episode, overall we'll be answering the question, is it okay to watch cartoons? And there's two answers to this, yes and no, alright? It just really overall depends on what you are watching, at what age you're watching it. So, if you are a kid watching something with a little bit of an adult humor, I probably not, because then that kid can go to a school, repeat that, then, you know, he gets in trouble, some other kids get in trouble. It's just drama that just doesn't really need to be started. Now, what age should a kid watch adult humor cartoon shows like Family Guy or American Dad or Rick and Morty, all that stuff? I feel like, and the crazy thing about it is, like, you know, they, because they just, added Rick and Morty to Fortnite, and a lot of kids play Fortnite, so obviously a lot of kids are going to be wondering what Rick and Morty is about, end up watching that show, and so on. And it's like, plus with the internet, it's like, a kid can really watch anything they want. But I do feel like that maybe when they're in like that middle school age, that's when they should start watching that type of stuff. Like, I think because it just seems like that, you know, they're like somewhat becoming, you know, older and things, but at the same time they're still a kid. I feel like definitely like PG elementary, PG-13, like, you know, all that stuff, like middle school. And then I feel like the crazy things, although it was different for me. I was watching the rated R, PG-13, PG. I watched Lion King one day, watched The Exorcist the other day. So that's why, but I mean, they're not really, well, Lion King is, but I'm like The Exorcist, I'm like, I just grew up in a different household. But, I mean, like, it just really depends, like, you know, if you tell your kids, like, okay, if you want your kids to watch that type of stuff, because you just don't really want them watching, like the dumb cartoons, like, there's some cartoon shows out there where I'm like, nah, I wouldn't want my kid to watch that, like the new episodes of, like, you know, any old, like, TV show, nah, I'm like, those, I feel like they would fall in the category. So I'm like, I think if there was like a bunch, if it was like the new version of Scooby-Doo, or the new version of Tom and Jerry, or the new version of Looney Tunes, I'm like, nah fam, I'm gonna start you off with the classics, and then if you want to watch the new episodes, you very well can do that, but I'm gonna just let you know right now, nothing will beat the classics, okay? So, but anyways, but yeah, overall, like, back to what I was, like, you know, saying, you know, like, okay, young age, maybe consider it, but me personally, I'm like, I don't know. Like, I know there were some cartoon shows I wasn't allowed to watch, like, as a kid growing up, which was South Park, but it was crazy. I was watching Family Guy like it was nothing, but I was when I was in middle school. Elementary, no, I wasn't watching Family Guy when I was in elementary, so. But anyways, but yeah. Middle school, got into watching Family Guy. Then high school, I was still watching Family Guy, but I was watching a bunch of different, like, you know, like adult cartoon shows and stuff. Because I'm like, at that point, like, when you're in high school, I feel like, okay, like, you're bound to be watching that stuff. That freaking other, like, you know, it's going to be a lot of things you're going to be coming across in high school. So for those that aren't in high school, or if you are in high school but you don't really know what to expect, like, yeah, you're going to be, you know, being exposed to a lot of different things. So I feel like, you know, adult cartoon shows, like, that's just something I feel like you should already kind of be, like, you know, pre-planned for. Like, oh, okay, I know about this stuff already. I know about these jokes. I know. And that's the thing, like, to talk to, you know, kids out there that think, like, oh, it's, it's a problem if your friend doesn't know which South, that's the thing. Do not ever judge your friends for not watching the TV show, movie, whatever it is. Cause no, there be people out there like, oh, your parents don't let you watch South Park. Oh, you're a loser. Fam, what does that one viewership of South Park, how is that declare my whole life, or overall just declare that moment? You're saying that I'm a loser because I'm not watching South Park. And there's so many other shows, movies, and other different things I can watch that's most likely better than South Park. So I'm saying I still to this day have yet to watch a full episode of South Park. I've played a couple of the video games, but other than that, I'm like, fam, I ain't got no reason to be watching South Park. I'm like, it's whatever. If I ever feel like watching that show, I guess I'll feel like watching it. But until then, I'm like, fam, I don't really care. Now, I will admit, I do like the video game because it was funny when they was when you change the difficulty, it makes your character black. When you put all the way on the hardest difficulty, your character. I thought that was funny. I was like, now that's one thing that I can't respect about South Park. And I have to say, if there was a reason for me to get back into playing the video game or watching the show, I'm like, it had to be that reason and stuff because I thought that was pretty funny. So. But so to talk on that, I feel like that it's more normal to watch a little kid get exposed to adult cartoon shows than it is for a grown up to be watching kiddie shows, something on PBS or shows that's going to overall be teaching you stuff. I feel like as an adult, especially when you're my age, when you're 25 years old and you're watching Teletubbies, I guess I can understand if you're watching it to crack jokes and make fun of it and stuff, and overall be like, fam, I was really watching these weird colorful creatures not saying words, talking to some baby sun in the sky, and then pointing at the stomach when the little TV screen start going crazy. Did they even sing songs? What was Teletubbies, man? I'm gonna have to go back and look to see, because I'm like, fam, I don't remember too much, but at the same time, I'm like, the what I do remember, I'm like, fam, that show did not make any sense. That's probably why I struggled with school, because I was sitting there watching Teletubbies instead of watching a show that was gonna actually teach me something. But no, I'm saying shows like that. I just feel like that. What can you you can't look that stuff up or watch a more mature video. You want to watch the kids and so no. The reason why I talk on that is because there is people that got when I I'm pretty sure some people, if you've been a veteran subscriber on my channel and stuff, you probably remember when I got into it with the Thomas the Tank Engine community. And so yeah, that was that TV show has a community on YouTube, but it's a deeper story behind it. I know a lot of people just think that I just went out of my way to attack people of age that was watching that show, but in reality, there was a fan that was a part of that show and kept giving me problems. So I figured, you know what? I'm just going to go off on him and go off on how he's watching that show at an older age, and then go off on anybody else. Because it was him, it was a few other people from that community that just went out of their way and started attacking my channel. And so I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to flip the tables. But the table did I don't know, did it do it? It did a 360 and ended up right back where it was originally at. I got attacked by that community plus more. And so and that's the crazy thing about it, is that a lot of them had put their age in their bio. So some was saying that they were my age now, 25, and that was years ago. And they're probably 30 something now, but I'm like, fam, you guys are my thing is this, I would never create an account based off of a kid's cartoon show, and then I'm knowing that there's gonna probably be kids that's gonna be involved on social media and all of that, so when they see me tweeting about this TV show, then they're gonna follow. I'm like, fam, that I just don't trust that. I don't trust an adult pretending to be a kid's character or a kid's cartoon character on the internet. To me, that just don't seem right. I don't know. I feel like the only place that really needs to do that is the creators of the show. But I'm random people that don't have nothing to do with the show. Like, you were the ones watching that show when it came out, and now all of a sudden, I'm like, that just doesn't seem right to me. I know a lot of people will probably disagree with that, but I'm like, nah. Me personally, I wouldn't go out and do no stuff like that. I'm like, there's other things that I can be and pretend and all that stuff, but I'm like, I would never pretend to be a kid's, like, cartoon character and stuff, knowing that there's kids that's gonna be out on the internet looking for that type of stuff and wanting to follow it and all and things. I'm like, you can't trust that. I know there's probably some people that's doing it with good intentions and they're not doing it to be, weirdos on the internet. But I'm like, still, regardless, you can't trust it. I'm like, my thing is, if you can't be yourself on the internet, then why even get involved anyways? I understand some people do a character or persona, for entertainment purposes, but I'm like, how is that entertaining? You're entertaining kids. I'm like, I guess if you want to entertain kids, become a teacher. But if you're going to be on the internet, I'm like, that to me, I'm like, how would that make you feel where you have a child that's like far under the age, like elementary age, but they're into the internet and all that stuff? Of course, it's going to happen, but they get into it and they're talking to adults. Like, no business with talking. And then on top of that, not even them like talking to an adult, they're talking to an adult that's pretending to be some character from a kid's cartoon show. Like, am I the only one that sees something wrong with that? I know others have to see something wrong with that. That's why I'm like, fam, I'm gonna make sure of it. The day when I have kids, I'm like, nah, like, you could get into it, but if somebody start asking you weird questions and all that other extra stuff, I'm like, fam, like, even if you feel like that it's weird, you come to me, I'll look at it and be like, nah, you good. Or I'm gonna be like, nah, that person's a weirdo, block them. I'm like, just keep your stuff on private. Keep your stuff on private. And if you see anything out the ordinary, just exit out the app. All right, just exit out of it and stuff. But anyways, but yeah, I'm like, I like overall, like when I seen that, I'm like, hey, yo, then the fact that people was like still till this day mad at me about it, and I'm like, I apologize to those that I offended. But as the time like progressed on and I started thinking about it more and more, I'm like, hey, yo, you guys were like grown adults arguing with another grown adult over the way that you use the internet. But it's like, fam, the way that you're using the internet, that's how a lot of people end up getting arrested and sent to prison. I'm saying it would be so funny if it was like the FBI was like, oh, we're gonna start, cracking down on people pretending, that they would definitely delete my thing is like, why would the FBI crack down on me? Why would they crack down on me? I'm putting my face out there. Everybody knows who I am. Like, I even walk around outside wearing a T-Moz Boss hat. So at the end of the day, I'm like, I could be found anywhere possible. You guys, on the other hand, pretend to be like kids, like cartoon characters and stuff. I'm like, come on now. Like, I know for a fact the FBI will crack down on some stuff like that, because it's, if that stuff was starting to rise where people was pretending to be kids, like, they would try to be like, oh, well, it's not us. We're not the ones that's doing it. We're not doing this with bad intentions. But I'm like, fam, the fact that you're having to come out and talk about that stuff, if you guys wasn't doing anything bad in the first place, you wouldn't have had nothing to talk about. So that's why I'm like, yeah, you guys, I just know for a fact that they would be deleting their profiles and then trying to be like, oh, no, we gotta go now. We gotta delete our pro. I'm like, yeah, because I'm like, you guys ain't gonna be carrying on with that. And a lot of those videos, them people was making, they're all gone now. Even the guy that started the initial argument between, like, me and that community, he's gone now. I'm like, I don't see him on YouTube. I don't see anybody else. There's this one video, I remember it got a lot of views. Like, people still talk on it. I'll hear it from time to time when they say that I overall was like saying how, because I think that's what I said in one of the videos I made where it's like, these guys are pedophiles. Because I'm like, I don't know. I'll say something different now, but at the same time, it'll still be along the, like, same lines, because I'm like, this just doesn't make any sense. I'm like, you guys can very well be yourselves on the internet. Why are you being a character from a kid's cartoon show? Like, you don't see, like, they're not going to see the issues with it, but I'm like, I should ask, like, I should even ask my friends there that are parents, but I'm like, how would that make you feel or how does it overall make you feel that there's adults our age pretending to be characters from kids' cartoon shows on the internet? an area where your kid is going to get exposed to one day, how does that make you feel? Because every time when I hear a situation of adults and kids interacting on the internet, it's usually not good. It's not good at all. And so, no, I remember there's the one story, this happened like years ago. I think the girl's name was Amanda Todd, but she got into it with an adult on the internet. And then he ended up like telling her whole school like about her. He was like saying like some like, you know, messed up things about her, said it to the whole school. So the school started like, everybody at the school started bullying her. She ended up killing herself. And that's why I'm like, I don't trust no situation with adults talking to kids on the internet. I don't care what you're doing. I don't care how you're doing it. You should not. My thing is this. If you gotta hide behind some character to be a kid on the internet, I'm like, no. But I'm like, if you're doing something along the lines where I'm like, okay, so you know my name, you can see my face, I've said what state I live in. I live in Washington State. So I'm like, I'm not hiding. I'm not having to pretend or do no other extra stuff. I'm like, I ain't got no reason to do any of that. But I'm like, them on the other hand, I'm like, I know that's why a lot of them are gone today. Because I'm like, yeah, that stuff to me, it just doesn't make any sense. I'm like, instead of like attacking me and arguing about it, I'm like, explain it to me. So I'm like, oh, okay. I'm like, now I can see your point. But at the same time, I'm like, nah, that stuff just don't seem right. Where it's like you're having to pretend to be some kid's character TV show. And then it was funny because I remember that they was like, I think that was like one of the things I said. I'm like, why don't you guys like go watch the news or like, but that was just like at the time as an example. But I'm like, fam, there's so many different ways. Like if you're still struggling with stuff, then I'm like, then you need to be in a care facility where people are taking care of you. You gotta watch some kids cartoon show to learn about some trains. Like you can't go on YouTube and watch a 5-minute video about how a train operates and how it starts up. You could probably get a more deep in-depth version of it and stuff rather than some train with a face on it trying to explain it to you. I'm like, that's what I'm like. And then what if you don't get all the information that you need to know? What if they're just telling you the basics and not telling you the advanced stuff that you actually need to know? So that's why I'm like, I was hearing thunder outside. I was like, bruh, right when I was about to go outside and exercise, I'm like, that's when it wants to start thundering. I'm like, I thought we passed this, but I live in Washington. Yeah, I've said that. I'm like, you know, outside of Seattle where, you know, overall, like, yeah, like a good portion of Washington be dealing with some rain and stuff. But anyways, but yeah, I'm like, man, people are trying to get on me about that. I'm like, man, you guys, that stuff don't make any sense. But anyways, I'll let y'all be the judge. I know it's going to probably stir up some stuff. But I'm like, fam, at the end of the day, ask yourself that question. How would that make you feel where your kid is talking to an adult that's pretending to be? That's no different than somebody like driving up on some kids talking about, oh, I got candy. I'm like, yeah, because I know they're going to be like, well, kids like the cartoon. I'm like, well, kids like candy too. That's why you see them situations, them people be driving up in white vans, somehow I got candy. You can't trust it. So why is it a problem to trust that? Because I'm like, okay, well, he's just giving away candy. He's just only trying to, make my kid happy. So my thing is like, what's different from that situation than your guys' situation? Like, that's what I would like to know. Like, how is your situation better than that situation? Because you guys can very well tell me, like, oh, okay, like, I'm not going to go out and do anything. I'm like, yeah, and that stuff has been said before. And look, there's a girl named Amanda Todd that's not here with us today. Why? Because she was talking to an adult online. So that's why I'm like, I'm not hearing it when people go out and try to defend that type of stuff. And, even though I did apologize, but I'm like, nah, to those that was going out and attacking me for it, I'm like, yeah, they were most likely the ones that's out there doing some shady stuff and they just didn't like the fact that they got called out on it and stuff. If not, prove me wrong. So, but anyways, but yeah. I will talk to you all later. Thank you guys for watching and or listening. Reviewing this on YouTube, make sure you like and subscribe. And if viewing this on the podcast streaming service, make sure you follow or subscribe, however it's set up. Make sure you subscribe to one of my 36 YouTube channels. Follow me on Twitter, TikTok, Twitch, and Instagram at TMossBoss. And make sure you follow my Facebook page at TMossBoss fan page. Also, if you're purchasing any tickets from SeatGeek, make sure you use my promo code TMossBoss. It will knock $20 off your next purchase. And make sure you also use my supported creator code for Epic Games, TMossBoss. And in the meantime, I will talk to you guys later. Thank you guys for watching and or listening, and peace.